So what is required to write a good email? What are the elements that you must include for your email to be considered professional and appropriate? Well, there are basically several pieces. First, of course, you must put in the correct email addresses. Your email address will be put in for you, but you should use an appropriate email. So if you're writing to someone at Bluegrass or at the college, at BCTC or another KCTCS school, then you should use your KCTCS email address. It identifies you. It allows the reader to find you on a roster. It allows to find your student record, where if you use another email address, it may not have the same last name. It may not have your last name at all. It may use a nickname. There are a lot of reasons not to use a personal email when you're trying to conduct school business. So make sure that you select the correct email to send from when you are writing an email at school. Then make sure that you enter the reader's email address correctly. Double check yourself on that. And then enter a meaningful subject line. So make sure that that subject line makes it clear the purpose of the content of your email, so that by just skimming down through a list of emails, the reader can tell what your email is about, why you have written it, what its content is. Then you want to make sure that you use a personal and professional tone, that you come across as a human being, not a robot. So you have a voice, a friendly, polite, respectful voice, but that you also come across as professional. And so that means that you want to always use a salutation, which is just a greeting. You use the recipient's name and their title in that greeting, and that you close your email with a complimentary close or a valediction, some kind of closing statement of sincerely, comma, and your name, or thank you, period, and your name, respectfully, comma, and your name. So some of those different options for a valediction or a complimentary close. When you are addressing someone with a title, then make sure that you are using the title correctly, that you're using the title the person has asked you to use. So if your professor asks you to use professor in addressing them, then you always call them professor and their last name. If they ask you to use Mr. or Mrs. or Ms., then make sure you do that. So you acknowledge the person's title in your salutation, dear so-and-so. And that's typically followed with a colon rather than a comma. Then within the content of your email, think toward probably 3 sections, so maybe even 3 paragraphs, with your first paragraph being just a single sentence, maybe an explanation of, I'm writing about such and such, I'm writing to ask you about such and such, or I'm writing to inform you that I have to miss class today. And then in your second paragraph, give the details about that. You know, that I'm not feeling well, or that this other thing is going on, or that I need help with whatever it is you need help with. And then in your third paragraph, if you need it, tell the reader what you would like for them to do, what you need them to do. So, for instance, if you're writing to say that you have to miss class because you are ill, then you might say something like, I'm writing to inform you that I cannot attend class today. And then you, in your second little paragraph, you would explain why. That I was not feeling well this morning when I woke up, and I was able to schedule an appointment with my doctor, or I feel as if I need to rest all day and am not going to push myself to attend class. And then in the third paragraph, you might say, could you please reply and let me know what I missed, or send me any handouts that you might have distributed. Something like that. And then your closing, your thank you, or sincerely, or however you choose, whatever you choose for your valediction at the end of your discussion. So think toward that. That's not to say it has to be 3 paragraphs long, but think in terms of those 3 items in that order. An explanation of why you're writing, and then the details about it, and then anything that you need from the reader, and then your complimentary close. Make sure that you double check your spelling, double check your grammar. If anything is underlined, right click on it or left click, either whichever one it works in your email, to check spelling or to check grammar, and to see if there are any errors, because you want to use the best version of yourself as possible in an email. You also, if you are given a specific piece of information to cover in your email, you have been asked to provide certain information, make sure that you've done all of that, that everything has been included in that. And then include a signature block at the end of your email where you include your name and the course information for the class that you're specifically writing about. Make sure you include your KCTCS email address, even though it is included in the from box. Make sure that you include that. And so let me show you how to do that. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward in your school email. In your school email, if you will go to the settings gear, the little gear icon, and click on that, and then view all Outlook settings, then you'll be able to find this compose and reply section, and in that you can create your signature. Now I have my name, I have some of my titles, my responsibilities, I have my school address, and I have contact information or how to reach me. Now I have not included my email address in here, and I certainly could, but I have that automatically added to every email that I write, even when I reply. And so you can set that up and automatically have that in your emails. Then if you need to, as you're writing to a particular teacher, you could possibly, when you open a new email to send a new message, then if you needed to change some of that, you could do that, and you could just highlight it and put in your course number or other information that would identify you, that would allow you to meet these expectations, particularly on your email assignments. But what we're trying to do in this QEP email assignment set is to teach you how to write a good email, and then reinforce that by having you do this several times. So all of those pieces are very important for you. I Googled this information just to see what I could find, and I found a website that is emailoverloadsolutions.com. emailoverloadsolutions.com. And in looking at this, I found particularly these 6 components to properly structure business emails. And down at the near the bottom, it talks about these: a subject line, a greeting, an introduction in which you state your purpose, and then the detail, and then whatever you're asking the person to do or any action you're asking for, and then your closing or your sign off. And then they discuss each of those thoroughly and give you some good examples. So all of those things are essential pieces and should be included in any email that you write in a professional capacity. And so as you think about replying to or emailing one of your teachers, you want to make sure that you present yourself in as professional a way as possible. Many students begin their emails by introducing themselves or reminding the teacher who they are. So in my instance, dear Professor Swango, this is so-and-so, and I am in your such and such class. And then they continue with, I'm writing about such and such, and then providing the situation, the details, and then any action that I need to take, and then the complimentary close. And so think about that, how you write your email, how you want to write an email, how you want to be seen, how you want to be considered, how you want to be regarded by your teachers. You want to put yourself in the best possible light. And so these are some instructions for doing that and for guaranteeing that everything you write is done well.